Hey, well, if you're like me, you're still in Corona crazy, except I don't have any kids to drive me crazy because my grands are in Nashville. So I'm going to help you and give you some ideas how you can keep them occupied. Please share so other parents and teachers can get these ideas. Now, today is movement. All you need is a cloth. Now, avoid this cloth. This is pattern. We're going to get into repetition and pattern next time. What you need is a nice little simple cloth. And notice this is just an old man's handkerchief. And it's nice and clean and nice and white, and there's a lot you can do with it. In this movement idea, it's easy with dance and music. I mean, just pick this up, make it dance through the air, make it fly through the air. You fly through the air because the key is for you to move and get a lot of energy out there and let it out. Go run around the backyard with this. Play music that makes you move and makes this cloth fly through the air. Now, with writing, it gets a little more interesting because once the wind takes this cloth, where does it fly? How does it move through the air? Where did it go? Write the story or illustrate the story. Make it into a children's book. Draw the pictures of this flying through the air and then tell us where did it go. If it got caught, how did it escape? And what kind of superpowers would this cloth have that allows it to perform great acts of mercy in the time of the coronavirus? You can see how easily that could get carried away. All right, now art, this is a little more complex. Now notice if I grab the corner of this cloth, what shape does it make? Yep, you're right, it makes a triangle. And the triangle is the most important form of movement in art, because in art, it can't actually move, it's got to appear to move. Now, can you make, if you ask, can you make this triangle, can you make this cloth into a shape that would appear to move? The answer is a triangle. So think about it, you're looking at a triangle like this, and everybody moves from fat to skinny. See it? Our eyes are moving, not our bodies, and our eyes are moving. Now other shapes have movement. Here's your rectangle. If it's the same on both sides, then that means it's going to move in two directions at once. But the ones who don't have any movement are circles. You'd think they would have movement, but they're not. Or squares, because they're going in so many directions that you're stuck right there in the center. And so is the square. But all of anything that's fat on one side and skinny on the other is going to move your eyes. So knowing that, you can look at paintings and see if you can't find triangles in them. And every one of them has it. So you can find it in any paintings, any sculptures. They all have triangles because the key is to move the viewer's eye around the page so that you stay there for a very long time. So getting back to our cloth, you can tie this cloth into several cloths put together, like I did these little guys. See, they're so cute. They have little pink ties, and I actually tied them all together. They're all a bunch of men's napkins, and I tied them all together and sprayed Clorox. No, not Clorox. You could tell we're coronavirus worried. I sprayed starch on them, spray starch. Now the bodies have a little bit of stuffing inside, but most of these is just sprayed on Clorox. He's the nonchalant one. He thinks he's really cool. So you can take these, you can tie them together, and then make something out of it. You can put knots in the middle. That's how I came up with those elbows. And you can put knots on the feet. Look, that's a foot. Or a hand, same difference. And then you can just pose them any way that you want. Or you can make an animal out of it. You can make a butterfly. See? And then you could write about it. Oh, all these cross-curriculum things. Now, we're moving into, if you really want to get serious, turn this baby in such a way to where there are a lot of folds in it. if there are a lot of folds, every time you see a fold, you're going to see a line. Do you see it? See the lines all on the side? Those lines are what you can now draw. And I don't want you to name it. I don't want you to call it a cloth. I don't want you to call it a napkin, a handkerchief, or anything. I want you to look at this line. Do you see it? Follow it. And as your eyes are following it, your pencil is following it on a piece of paper. And you're following this line, your pencil's following that line. And don't worry about what it is, how it's fixed, what it does, or anything that you wrote about it already, because all you care about are these lines. Now, if you really want to get messy, you can find you some Elmer's glue and put it with a little water, and you can dip all your cloths in there. And when you pull it out, you can form it in any way that you want, and it'll stay there when it dries. Now, Elmer's glue gets all over the place. So your best bet, really, is to go outside. You can go outside, you can use Elmer's glue out there. If you're worried about the environment, you can just mix flour and water. We're all worried about the environment, so. And it's also easier to clean up. Now, I can't guarantee how stiff it would be with flour and water. I know how stiff it gets with glue, with Elmer's glue, but with flour and water in Louisiana, I'd be kind of worried about the roaches. They love flour and water. But anyway, now you can see there's so much to do with this piece of cloth and movement. And now as you're trying to get everybody to look at your paintings and your work and your dance, look at your dress. You see it? You see how it's wide at the bottom and short at the waist? Okay, guys, you're not wearing a dress, but you see how you can make it move from one fat side to the skinny side. Okay, I think I'm going to stop for a little while and paint for a couple days, but I'll be back on Monday, and we'll talk about repetition, pattern, how you can see a rhythm of things going over and over and over and over. You already have figured this out with music, but have you figured it out with writing and art and dance? More later.